We started 5 with the beginning of a new school year. Students are starting the fall semester across central Indiana this week, and they're going back with a new statewide cell phone ban in place.
So this new law bans cell phones for the entire school day. Tonight, Samantha Johnson breaks down what this means for the students and also for parents.
Supporters will tell you banning cell phones during the school day is all about improving grades and letting kids be kids. And at one of the largest school districts in the state, the superintendent says it's not about punishing students.
But we're going to follow the law. And the first part of that is making sure everybody knows what the law is and what it says. And then we'll deal with situations as they arise.
Hamilton Southeastern and these Marion County townships follow the same rules, keeping phones out of kids' hands from bell to bell. Wireless devices have to be turned off and stored away. That includes phones, smartwatches, and other devices that can connect to the internet. And this is for the entire school day during lunch and passing periods, too.
It's a huge distraction.
State Senator Jeff Rotz co-authored the new policy. He says schools that already do this report more social interaction, too.
All of a sudden, the lunchroom goes from fairly quiet to what you'd expect with 100 or 500 young people.
One of the biggest concerns we are hearing from parents is communicating with children during an emergency. How do I know my child is safe? Senator Rotz tells me many school resource officers support this change, saying they need students to pay attention in case of an emergency. And then when it's safe, schools can decide to reunite students with their phones. Now, where students will store their phones often depends on how old they are. Usually lockers or backpacks. Pockets are not an option. And in some buildings, like Wayne Township, this won't be a major change.
In our K-8 buildings, that's been the case. Really, it's only going to affect our high school students who, up till last year, were able to use their phones during passing periods and during lunch.
Plus, there are exceptions to the rule, like during emergencies, for medical needs, or if it's incorporated in a student's IEP. So the new school year is on, and phones are off. In Marion County, Samantha Johnson, 13 News.
IPS follows the same guidelines as our township schools, and leaders there say that parents can call the main office anytime to pass along information to a student. Also, we put together a long list of the school districts and their policies, so you can find yours right now and how it's being implemented at WTHR.com.
And there are several other new laws which will impact Indiana schools and colleges this semester.
One change is what type of education is provided to students. It requires public schools to allow military personnel to talk to students about post-secondary education or training to students. Another requires colleges to eliminate low earnings degrees, while a different law changes requirements for students who are seeking a degree in education.
So you can take a closer look at these laws and others now in effect on WTHR.com/SEEN-on13. And classes begin tomorrow in Perry Township, and some high schoolers there will be taking classes nearby at the University of Indianapolis.
They got a new program they're really excited about. Rich Nye went to learn more about the launch of this first of its kind in Indiana career-connected learning program.
This house that held the UIndy Honors College will be leveled. And on this site will be built a brand new $29 million facility for innovation and entrepreneurship. A Perry Township school building on the UIndy campus.
Construction begins this fall with completion scheduled in 2028, sitting on the east end of campus at Hannah and State Avenues. But about 60 students from Perry Meridian and Southport high schools will start the program this school year, spending about 2 hours a day learning at UIndy.
I'm really excited about the opportunities that I get to learn from people who've either done business before or they have knowledge on how to run a business. And I'm just really looking forward to being able to learn in a different aspect than just the standard school business classes that we get offered.
These are not college classes. Perry Township staff teach the classes but draw on resources from UIndy.
This program is going to allow us to really help students explore themselves, their passions, and what's their entry point to whether it be college or career. But getting them on the campus so that they can start to see themselves on campus, I think is a huge barrier to start with.
I am not prone to exaggerations, but I will take this leap today and say this model will work, and this model, when it works, will set a model for the rest of the country in how K through 12 can partner with higher education to truly deliver real value to our society.
The program will be temporarily housed in Martin Hall while the new center is under construction. In Indianapolis, Rich Knight, 13 News.
The Perry Township Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center is funded through a grant from the Lilly Endowment. It totals $40 million, and this is one of 34 large-scale grants being awarded to strengthen the academic achievement of students in Indianapolis.
All right, we're going to switch to weather, give our headlines a break here. Angela's on top of things. As we saw severe weather yesterday, we continued into humidity. Lots and lots of moisture in the air today.
Yeah, a change from this morning to this afternoon.
You're going to be so happy, when you walk out of here, because your day is done,
one. Always.
and two, it is less humid than when you came in this morning. I think you'll notice that. A much more comfortable evening on tap for central Indiana. The skies are clearing, humidity is dropping. We've got several views for you across central Indiana, from Bloomington in Monroe County to the Country Club of Indianapolis. Aside from the breeze, probably a pretty good afternoon, early evening to play a little golf or spend some time outside on this late July early evening. We'll take you into Carmel. Again, a mix of sun and clouds right now. You're really starting to feel that weather pattern change. Temperatures will continue to drop this evening. So will the humidity levels. 84 in Indianapolis. We have 81 in Muncie, 82 in Bloomington, and 79 degrees in Richmond. Our severe weather from yesterday is now along the East Coast. So for us, we turn our attention to a milder night. We'll be in the 70s through 10 o'clock. Eventual low temperatures into the 60s, and then sunshine and low 80s on Wednesday.
That's when stuff started moving real slow for me.
Tonight, jurors heard from the witnesses of a deadly shooting outside an Indianapolis bar.
They also watched some of the security video that shows the key moments that lead up to that crime. Day 2 wrapping up today in the murder trial of Caden Douglas. Douglas is accused of using racial slurs before fatally shooting Jeremy Dillingham, and this happened last summer.
Our Ashton Hackman was in the courtroom and has the testimony.
In the courtroom Tuesday, jurors heard testimony from witnesses who were at the Mucky Duck pub the night that Jeremy Dillingham was shot and killed. Prosecutors say those witnesses show that Caden Douglas was aggressive, drunk, and looking for a fight. A bartender described Jeremy Dillingham as a laid-back, smooth, big chill dude. He described Caden Douglas much differently: combative, aggressive, belligerent. The bartender testified staff kicked Douglas out. Surveillance video showed Douglas trying to get back inside before sitting outside revving his engine. A close friend testified Douglas repeatedly used racial slurs and called Dillingham to his car.
Between the vehicle pulling out and the point here where it's driving away without Mr. Dillingham being next to the passenger side, what is the defendant saying to Mr. Dillingham?
Come here, I got something for you. Along the lines of, come here, come here. He was more repeating himself over and over again.
Prosecutors then played surveillance video of the shooting. Dillingham is seen walking alongside the car. He swings into the passenger side window. Seconds later, a gunshot. Dillingham collapses as friends rush to help. He later died at the hospital.
We are generally getting into fights. We're very much regulars at that bar. After all of that, it kind of changed it.
Defense attorneys challenged both witnesses. They emphasized the bartender never saw the confrontation and questioned whether Dillingham's friend ever saw a gun. Questions jurors will weigh as the trial continues. In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
Now, the trial is expected to wrap up Thursday with closing arguments and deliberations. Douglas faces at least 45 years in prison if convicted.
Tonight, we're learning that a woman is facing several charges, accused of driving drunk and crashing into a pregnant woman, and that led to her baby's death. LaTanya Berry is accused of causing the crash at 38th near North Post Road. This happened back in November. It led to an emergency C-section. So the baby did survive the crash and delivery initially, but then died a couple of weeks later from their injuries. The baby's mom also has serious internal injuries and multiple fractures and broken ribs. In newly released court documents, detectives state data from the suspect's Jeep showed that she was driving 95 miles an hour on a road where the speed limit was 40.
Tonight, we're learning an Anderson man will spend 50 years in prison for his role in the death of a 15-year-old boy. A jury found Donovan Harris guilty of felony murder, attempted armed robbery, and criminal confinement. Court docs state Harris and 15-year-old Julian Craig tried robbing someone in 2023 when the robbery victim shot and killed Craig. The prosecutor found the robbery victim shot Craig in self-defense, but the prosecutor charged Harris with felony murder, saying the law allows them to hold Harris responsible for the death because it happened while committing a crime.